out there to all my listeners, and I'd like to welcome you to Is Your Way in Your Way. And for those new listeners out there, that's actually the name of my book, Is Your Way in Your Way. And if you think about it, just kind of ruminate on that a bit, you'll probably say, yeah, I am in my way. So this podcast is all about for us to uncover the fears, the habits, even behaviors, barriers, beliefs that's preventing you from living your best life on your terms. So, and today is going to be a conversation this is going to be one you will not forget. And I like to talk about topics related to self-improvement, personal improvement. And as we do so, you will do a lot of self-reflection. And my prayer has always been for this podcast for somebody to hear the message. And as a result of it, you will have an epiphany. And the epiphany will enable you to say, you know what? This is thing that in order to live my best life, I need to do this. And I need to get rid of the fears and the barriers, the internal and external barriers, so that I can move forward for what I am ordained for to be here in this life. Because for many of us know that there are always life interruptions, you know? So even my guest by the name of Shannon Michelle, even though she actually mirrors to me the heart of this podcast through her courage and her faith. No matter how broken your past is or how broken you are right now, there's always a way to rise, restore, and live your best life. So I'm going to introduce you to Shannon right now. And hello, Shannon. Welcome to Is Your Way in Your Way.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Ladies.
Yeah. So my listeners, the title of this podcast is going to be When Life Breaks You Down. Okay. And life does break us down. As I indicated earlier, we are definitely in a posture because we are living that there are going to be life's interruptions. So I want to read Shannon's bio so that you will understand what qualifies her to always find a way to rise, to restore, and start living her best life in spite of. Now, Shannon is a living testament to resilience, faith, and the power of perspective. After surviving a devastating motorcycle accident that left her with the memory loss, and later confronting a breast cancer diagnosis, Shannon refused to let brokenness define her story. Instead, she transformed her pain into purpose, reclaiming her joy, balance, and strength through mindset shifts, gratitude, and daily growth. So today, she inspires others to rebuild their lives piece by piece, reminding us that even in our most shattered moments, brilliance can emerge. Her journey is not just about recovery, it's about rediscovery. Author of Step Into Your Miracle. And man, let me tell you, Shannon is a walking miracle. So let's get started with this conversation. Shannon, what was your life like before the motorcycle accident?
Ooh, that's a great question. I call it Shannon Michelle 1.0 versus 2.0. And my previous life was I led a very successful business, a high-end interior designer in the city of Los Angeles, and just lived my life to every extent that I could, honestly. Down to riding my motorcycle with friends on Sundays. It was like my mini Sunday school in a different way. And it was just, my daughter had just started college in California, and proud of that. But there was this freedom that I felt as well, because the mommy in the house was allowed to just explore her new self in a way. And so that's where I was at. A very successful company, beautiful clients. I made gorgeous environments, for people. And I'd done it for 25 plus years with my own company. And I was very successful at all of that before I got really broken physically, mentally, and spiritually,
Yeah. So would you say it sounds like the work that you were doing, you loved, and you knew from that was what you were called to do because you had great clients and you were doing well. And now that you were an empty nester, so to speak, you used the motorcycle as your freedom. You just did things that you had not done before. So tell us what happened on that motorcycle. Tell us about that experience.
So I can tell you from what I've been told, because my accident was so severe, traumatic brain injury, I part of my memory got most of my memory at the beginning was wiped clean. So I can describe it how it's been described to me. It was a very severe motorcycle accident on Pacific Coast Highway. Somebody did an illegal U-turn, threw me up in the air from what I've been told, 30 plus feet, popped me back down and head first into the concrete. But here are the blessings and miracles that were around me that day, even though that chaos happened, is there happened to be an EMT on the beach with his wife in front of the accident that ran up and did all the things that needed to be done to save my life at that moment. There happened to be somebody in the car that rode as well, that didn't know me, that basically blocked everybody from rolling over me post the accident. There were a lot of miracles that just happened right at that moment. They drop shipped me into UCLA, and they had to keep me in coma for a few months because my brain trauma, again, in every part of my body. Like I've gotten a lot of the metal pieces are gone, but I've got new hips that are new parts and pieces, and my wrist, the eye is more obvious, and really traumatic brain injury was the most severe part, and they didn't know if I was going to live. Honestly, they were my daughter and my friends and my family were told, we don't think she's going to make it through the night, and again, it was like these small moments that I survived through for some, and I can't say for some reason anymore, because I know that I have so much to share and give about coming through trauma and seeing yourself new and different, even though you think your life is unbreakable and perfect, or whatever words you want to put around it, that we all need to open up a little bit more to the realization that if we're learning and growing, that's all we need to be doing in this moment right now, and to find ourselves being present in each moment. And that's what allowed me to recover, allowed me to survive, and allowed me to thrive in a way that I couldn't put words around for a long period of time.
Yeah. How long were you in the hospital?
I was in the main hospital, UCLA, for 2 months, and then another hospital for a few weeks, and then a nursing hospital, but 3 months top to bottom. So 3 months. And then they brought me home. I begged them to bring me home because it was going to be my birthday. And I said, I just want to wake up in my house. That was my goal. And so 3 months in the hospital. And then, even post that, there were multiple surgeries that needed to still be done because of all of the different breaks and problems. And, brought me home in a wheelchair, couldn't walk for a little while. And because of all the new parts and pieces they put in, he said, you got to let that sit for a minute. And so I had to relearn everything, how to wake up and not be overwhelmed, how to wake up in pain and not focus on just the pain, and find a place to survive within all of that I think I consider me sitting here today I am a miracle, and I'm here to open up new doors for people to see themselves differently. That's my hope.
Okay. I love when you stated where healing begins.
Mhm.
You said step into a story that mirrors your own struggles and come away with strength to write a new chapter. Unpack that
Mhm.
for us. What does that mean to you?
I, again, in the realm of my short-term memory limitations, I would wake up
Sure.
each day having to um, kind of know that I didn't know, and I had to find a
Mm-hmm.
way to
Mm-hmm.
find softness and forgiveness within my story, to start to see myself again and
Right.
understand who I was. When I looked in the mirror, I mean,
Yeah.
they, all kinds of obvious physical things, buzzed my hair off, and now I'm natural, like I was a redhead, some really
Yeah.
silly things, my eye patch. But I had to wake up each day and say, stay present. All you have to do is do what feels right for today in this moment. And
Mm-hmm.
what is that? What brings you joy? What brings you joy, Shannon? I just want a cup of coffee. I want a tea. I want to learn how to cook again. These are the things that came to me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
reinventing yourself from a place you never thought it would be
Mm-hmm.
taken away, and
Yeah.
taken away. And that's okay too.
Right. Right.
Changes happen. But to accept that change as
Yeah.
growth and
Yeah.
guidance,
Mm-hmm.
that's that's the part that I try never to forget, to know that even though I sometimes forget how traumatic all of it was,
Mm-hmm.
I have to remind myself, like, Shannon, remember what you just went through and remember the strength you have. And it's
Yeah.
okay to reflect on it, but don't
Yeah.
live in it. I have to not live in it in a daily basis. And I think people, again, if you go through any type of trauma, any kind
Uh-huh.
of major change, you need to learn how to wake up and
Yeah.
find new you.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. 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 You know, your the power of the mind is unbelievable because what or who do you think um gave you the strength? Like, where do you believe that came from?
I guess if we're talking full picture,
Yeah.
um, I, me personally, knew I was mid-state. I was between life and death. And I
Mm-hmm.
was in a place where I could see the abundance of
Mm-hmm.
what was outside of this body and this earth.
Okay.
And my father figure happened to have passed about 6, 7 months before my accident. And he was there, surrounded. I was surrounded by angels. I was surrounded by, I can't even put words around the beauty of it, the
Yeah.
lightness, the 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 glory of what happens outside of this body
Yeah.
is, I mean, there's no words. Like, I know that there are words around it in our human language,
Yeah.
but the sense of it is so much even bigger than that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and we put words in different ways around God, Jesus. There's all kinds of words we can put around it. But
Sure.
when I was there, it was like, there, human words don't even match it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they can, and I had to come to a place where
Sure.
I could, but it's 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 breathless.
Mm.
It's so, it's a piece of
Wow.
light, and it's just like, and angels seems like a word that fits some of it, but like, even saying
Sure.
that word, it's like
Yeah.
it's hard to explain, but
Yeah.
I feel like there was a moment where Bill Langford is who I'm speaking of, is my father figure. He's not my biological father, but he
Sure.
was strength within my life as a father figure, and
Mhm.
for my daughter as well. And he just kind of he calmed me down. He was kind of just like, he calmed me down so that I didn't move on into, and again, I can put all kinds of words around it, but he knew that he knew, but I think he needed to pause me to say, it's going to be okay.
Okay. And that he is the father figure.
Yeah, that's Bill.
Wow.
That was Bill within the realm of in between. And so I felt so blessed that he was able to that he was able to pause me in a way, and the light and the angels and that all of that made me feel safe.
Yes.
In a place where I was kind of off kilter in a way, and then I remember that. I don't remember the accident, but I have a clear memory of what I'm explaining to you, which is, again, says so much about my experience and what, so I came back into my body, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy. It wasn't something people want to step back into. But there was this white light, guidance, angels, God surrounding to where I could have not came back into this body, and I would not have, those are the best words I can put around it.
Yeah. It kind of sounds to me like kind of an out of body experience.
It was.
Yeah.
Because I was again, and whatever words, I guess all of us have different we don't imagine it. Well, let me take that back. I don't imagine it. I was in the realm of not being in my body. So, whatever words we can put around it, but it was, again, there's no definition for some of it when you've been in the essence of between, and people, again, life and death. And I can't even say life and death because those words don't even surround it. Like it's really empowering that and it also creates a place of not being in fear of what you do, which is the most important, because I woke up each day having goals that, weren't goals before. Like, I want to be able to walk myself to the bathroom so I can go pee, like, what? Right. That was a goal. I want to be able to take a bath again. I remember I said to my daughter, I'm like, I can walk over to the bath and I can sit in it, but you're going to have to pull me up to get out of it because of the strength of the broken parts and stuff. And just moments like that were like, that's how I found strength and freedom in moving forward and wanting to find the new me, like see her and not try to keep getting the old me, because it's so easy for us to try to want to get back something we think was important for that time or who we were. But I really had to wake up each day and be like, Shannon Michelle 2.0. This is me,
Yeah. It's amazing though how one processes the good with the bad.
Oh, absolutely. I used to only be able to process the good. I knew how to hide from the bad. I had a lot of bad childhood stuff. And the more I could act like it wasn't a part of me and I hid from it, the safer I felt. Shannon Michelle 1.0. Now I'm like, open book. I'll tell you everything. What do you want to know? I mean, all of the chaos I've been through in my life has made this person. That chaos is awesome shit. So
your whole perspective has just revitalized. It's just revitalized. It's amazing. It's
reawakened me and gotten me closer and more connected to.
Yeah, exactly. And being present.
And that is the miracle right there. If all of us can just stay present,
I know,
in each day, that is a miracle. Just try it. Just try it, because it's not easy. We get distracted with so much stuff.
Yes,
but when you
get
distracted, just be like, okay, nope. I want a cup of water. I want to call my daughter. I want to, like, present moment. That's all you should in each and every
Yeah.
moment of every day.
Wow. Wow. Now, Shannon, if you could speak to yourself,
Oh.
that version of yourself who was lying in that hospital bed,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell yourself now?
It's okay to be different.
Mm.
I would tell myself that
Mm.
pain doesn't have to describe you. I would,
Mhm.
there was a lot of parts of me that were so fearful and scared because of
Mm.
all the different changes, because it took a while for me to even want to see myself differently. And I would tell her, not just it'll be okay, but it's okay to be different is, I think, one of the biggest things that I gained. Everything doesn't have to look and feel and sound a certain way.
Mhm.
It can be heavy, and it can be dark, and it can be light, and it's all going to be a part of who you are. I mean,
Mhm.
that's this person. She that wasn't the person lying in the bed, and that wasn't the person that first year of recovery, year and a half probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and then I loved the moment that, sometimes you think you've been through enough and you don't have to go through anything more. Like, if I went through this much chaos, trauma, like no more can come.
That's
And
right.
for me, I
Right.
got the call, breast cancer. And I literally, the first words that were out of my mouth was laughter. I'm like, thinking, if I was gonna die, this is what I thought. If I was gonna die, I would have been taken like that. I wouldn't be standing here, cancer,
I
whatever.
understand. Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
cancer is cancer. And my daughter had to say to me, Mom, yes, you were working on your brain and your body and you have more surgeries, but we're going to focus on cancer next. And we're going
Mhm.
to focus on, this is bigger than some of the other repairs that you're trying to
Oh,
do. And that moment was a blessing that I needed to have, in a way that nobody wants to hear they have cancer, and nobody thinks it's funny. Shannon,
right. Right.
that's serious stuff. Like,
Wow.
know that no matter how broken you have been,
Yeah.
it can still crack a bit more, and be open to the idea that you are not breakable anymore, because you are.
Yeah.
and
Right.
and and
Uh-huh.
again, if you can tell yourself that, because the dark days and the light days, they both
Yeah.
come, and giving yourself freedom and grace within all of that is,
Mhm.
to me, again, the most important thing I learned from the cancer. Multiple
Mhm.
surgeries, like, it wasn't pretty.
Sure.
But it also broke and reawakened even more of me, like,
Uh-huh.
in a way that, again,
Mhm.
if we can look at our traumas in a way that they're
Mhm.
not gifts at the moment, they don't feel like gifts, but
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
are lessons and or growth within who we can
Yeah.
be in our bodies. I think that's important.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I used to hear that when things happen to you or us or whatever, it's not always for you, it's for
No.
someone else.
Yes.
I've heard that. And I was like, really? I'm like, really?
Well,
Yeah.
it does, it affects and teaches everything that's around you,
Hmm.
family, friends, what you do within, your community, all of it gets, them showing up for you teaches
Right.
them. Because that
Right.
was something that I wasn't comfortable with either. I was a doer, a fixer, and nobody ever had to do any kind of Shannon care. I wouldn't let it
Right.
happen. I was a
That's it.
strong, you know.
Superwoman. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And
Sure.
then I
Hmm.
was so like, what? I can't, like, I do, again,
Uh-huh.
relearn that
Uh-huh.
just because you have built something
Mhm.
that's beautiful, again,
Mhm.
stay within the heart.
Mhm.
Who you are is the most important thing. That's it.
Mhm.
Heart
Uh,
connection.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. You said something else that I like to highlight for my listeners as well about the relationships that you had. You had the father figure, and
Hmm.
that kind of those were the things you remembered. You might didn't remember the accident, what happened there, but and that's why I say there's so much power in relationships. Never underestimate the power you bring to others.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, so be kind. He probably had no clue. He knew you admired him, but look what he did when you thought you weren't even going to live. How his
Yes.
presence
Yes.
permeated in your
Yes.
heart and in
Yes.
your the mind that you knew. And I just think that's important to remember that there are power in relationships. So don't dismiss them by
I
no
agree.
means.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with all of that. And you also, I, at least in my experience, I had to understand opening the door that some people weren't able to show up very well and didn't want to be a part of it. And some people did.
Hmm.
And even today, as I sit here, a lot of my best friends that I adore,
Yeah.
um, they are getting to know the new Shannon Michelle. They're,
Hmm.
it's not
Hmm.
the old, it's not the old Shannon Michelle. It's the new Shannon Michelle. And some people just, they, from a distance, do caring things, but really can't stay connected to me in this with the new me. They had,
Really?
yeah, I know. But I had to get comfortable with, I can't be responsible for how people show up. And I think
Wow.
that's an important lesson as well, is like people who
Right.
show up, even
Oh.
ones that you think would have, didn't, what? Huh. But that's, again, that's a lesson. That was a lesson for me. Like,
Hmm.
arms always, but expectations need
Hmm.
to somewhat be just within, I don't know
Mm.
what to add to that, but basically
Mm.
that trying to lose the expectations of others is a part of strength as well.
Yeah. 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 Um, do you think you've had some painful moments? Do
Mhm.
you think those painful moments became your greatest breakthrough?
Yeah, absolutely. Both
Hmm.
the accident and
Hmm.
my breast cancer, both um, were I'd like to say eye-opening, but that's a bad it's a bad way to put it. But even just, yes, I would not, for me personally, change a moment of it,
Hmm. Hmm.
where we kind of think that if we make a different decision, we're going to get a different result. Well, I
Right.
appreciate everything that I've learned and gained, and what has broken through within me,
Yeah.
and my connection to a higher power that is undescribable to me.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
words
Hmm.
around it, many people do, and I
Mm.
can, but like, to me, it's like whatever speaks to you,
Yeah.
knowing that there's more than just what this body and this human being, that we
Yeah.
have so much to give, and there's so much spoken through us and to us on a daily basis if we allow it. you know let that speak to you, let
Hmm.
that help you in your daily existence,
Hmm.
whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You are the epitome of resilience. It is
Thank you.
amazing to me. Resilience. Wow. That's something.
Thank you.
I want to go back to something because I'm
Yeah,
curious.
absolutely.
Yeah, when you talked about the friends you had and the individuals that you thought would stay with you or be with you during this process, but some you didn't come along and
Hmm.
some you gained new.
Hmm.
What do you think the ones that didn't come along, what do you think that was about? Because that happens a lot
It
with individuals.
does.
Hmm.
I think the most important thing as we talk about this is that we have to understand that nothing that we do personally can
Hmm.
affect the way people treat us. Meaning, maybe that's not coming out right, but like, I know that I am, nothing that happened to me and that is part of my life now is the reason why somebody isn't invited into my life, my existence, my front door, my whatever. And I think for us all to not take personally why somebody isn't there is a goal. Like, I have one friend that I used to ride with every Sunday, and she was a big part of my hospital recovery and helping my friends and my daughter through the major transition. But now she's shifted away, and I'm guessing, I can guess because I don't know for sure, but that, what we used to do, I don't do anymore. I don't ride motorcycles anymore, obviously.
Right.
And that was a connection that we had. And I think that as us as human beings, we can connect in all kinds of ways.
Sure.
And I think that eventually my hope is that she will be a part of my life again.
Yeah.
But I also can't sit in sorrow that she's not, because I'm not willing to, especially with my brain energy and my time, put myself in a position where I want to sit in sadness and pain. I wake up and I'm like, nope, I'm going to start over today.
Right.
This is my new day. And if you can do that, I think even with the loss, it's like, understand ourselves a little bit better. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm still learning.
Yeah. And through those times too, we grow. And like I'm going to share something. I have a friend that I knew years ago, and we were pretty close. I mean, I wouldn't say she was my closest, but then I moved away, for years, and, not around anymore. And then when I get back in the area, she calls and wants to know, well, why don't you call me? Why aren't we friends anymore? Why? And it's nothing personal. What I can only say is I've grown. I'm not saying I've grown more than she has, but I'm just in a different place. And I can't describe it like you. I love her, but I'm just not there right now. And and if she's okay with it, that's beautiful. If she's not, that's okay too. But I can't explain it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and how you just explained that is you can't take responsibility for what her needs are within your relationship, and there's a balancing of that, as well as, she has expressed that she would like to be closer to you again.
Yeah.
There's a need that she's trying to fill. And I think what I've also learned is when we're trying to fill an empty gap, that's the only point of our relationships, our friendships, our family. If we're just trying to fill empty space, that doesn't have a lot of value. It's only when we're trying to connect with what helps us and makes us feel good and makes us grow. And you will know, and you would have known, and you will know if there's more of a connection that isn't going to be important later in life for both of you. Who knows?
Exactly. Okay. Now, one other thing, there are 3 components to your journey.
Okay.
I want to know, what are those? Why should one follow them? And practices that aided your trauma recovery. What were those 3 components? Find balance was one.
I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Find your balance was one that you talked about, the components, and reclaim your purpose was another. And discover resilience. Those were the 3 components to your journey.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing that back, because again, with my short-term memory, I have to keep relearning my story, honestly. So when you ask that question, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, what are those 3 things? But all of those are true. I mean, when I sit here today, I think of, I've come up with, I've taken the word patch, PATCH, and put words to it. And so that's to me, I have to remember that we'll do it for a second if you'd like. The first thing is P, pause and stay present. Just what we talked about already. The second is take action. The third is T for thoughtfulness. Be thoughtful to yourself. And C is care for your heart, your mind, and your body. And H is this can create healing. Heal yourself, heal others, heal within this realm of trying to stay present, take action, be kind to yourself, make sure you're caring for your heart, your mind, and your body. Like you have multiple things. There's even more than that, but that's the three. And then from that can come healing. Whatever kind of healing that you need in that moment, in that, in that disease, in that care, in whatever you're in. Yeah.
Right. Now, how did you find reclaim your purpose? Which I think is so cool for the journey. You figured out, because purpose is powerful. Because I believe when you understand it, reclaim it, it keeps you going.
It does. It does. It does. And it has. And I think that is a faith in believing in who you are and what you have to share in any format of the world, in any ways to yourself. Like, again, I say, stay present, wake up, and see the birds chirping outside my bedroom window. Also see the grass that needs to be mowed, like whatever it is, like just take in that moment and that's, and all of us have something to gain. All of us have something to share. None of us live our life in a way that we are not connected with so many human individuals and higher sources that are a part of who we are. We're all, we're all of these things. We are our mind, we are our bodies, but we are our spirits and our connections. And how do you find that today? Like what brings joy to you today? That is the only thing you should be focusing on. What brings me joy today?
Right. Exactly. What brings you that excitement?
Yeah. And it can be boring, and that could bring you joy. And it can be thrilling and visual, and that could bring you joy. But it's all
froze for a moment.
Nope. You there?
Okay.
I can see you. I don't know if I'm frozen. This stuff always confuses me.
Yeah. Listeners, just so you know, Shannon has frozen, but I will be back. Something went wrong, but she's a miracle. So, and I'm hopeful she can hear me, what I'm sharing.
I can. There you are.
Okay.
We're back.
Look, you're a miracle, so I knew you were going to come back some kind of way. There's no way that this was going to defeat us.
But that gives you that moment. Sometimes we have to pause and stay present, and that's it. Like, find your way back from whatever we're dealing with at this moment. This moment was a perfect example. Sometimes we just pause and stay present and have hope. And
yeah, this, you know what? It reminds me that life's true riches are not found in accolades
Yes.
or luxury, but in
Right.
connection,
Mhm.
compassion, and authenticity.
Absolutely. Those are
Yeah,
perfect words. Yeah,
yeah,
they are. And
yeah.
and to find and to find and to find yourself and your joy and your love from all of that, and
Hmm.
not spend too much time worrying about the outside, you know, distractions, because
Hmm.
that can distract you from the beauty from within yourself, within you, within your
Right.
community, within your friendships, within,
Yeah,
whatever it is that is this present day for you. And
yeah, yeah.
appreciate this day
Yes,
one at a time, one
yeah,
day at a time.
yeah. And I am appreciative and so grateful that you and I had this opportunity to connect and
Yeah,
for you to share with my listeners about your journey and all you've been through, from the accident, the cancer that came after the accident. Is that right? I mean,
yes, it
and,
was
and,
after the
yeah,
accident.
and you also said, okay, yeah, I went through a tough time, but don't think that something else will not happen. You know what I mean?
Yes,
You
yeah,
know, yeah. It's a scripture or in the Bible that states God will not put any more on us than we can bear. And there
yes.
have been times when I've questioned him, like, "Are you serious? For real? Are you serious?"
Because we
Yeah.
can
So
question ourselves a lot. We really are the ones that question ourselves the most, right?
we do, we
And
do.
and yes, what we are in and what we have in to give and gain is beyond what we could even ever imagine of
I know,
ourselves.
I
I mean, that's
know,
the beauty
I
of it,
know,
right?
I
And
know. We are created to do something before it's time for us to get out of here.
we're
You
all
know?
miracles. Also,
Yes.
that's the thing is we all of us are miracles. Like that
Mhm.
again, when that came to me like one morning, like step into your miracle. And I remember like thinking, that's the name of my book. Whoa. And then I remember taking time and going, step into my miracle or your miracle.
Mhm.
No, it's your
Mhm.
miracle because we all have
Mhm.
miracles. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. And that was your trigger to write your book.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I had many of them.
Right. Uh-huh.
But yeah, some major ones was the wake up, revelation, and then, the layers of how I was able to kind of unwind the old me and show the new me
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
definitely, and
Yeah.
also to remember myself. Honestly, when I wrote this, it was honestly to remember me and to remember who I am and what worked and what didn't. And that's how
Right.
this began. It wasn't to share with others. It was to like wake up and survive and
Yeah.
thrive. And then that this is, yeah, what came out of all of that. Yeah. But it was for
Yeah.
me first and foremost. I'm like, oh,
Sure.
I gotta remember that worked or that didn't work, or oh, that was awful, or whatever it was, because I
Yeah.
shared a
Yeah.
lot. I journal a
Shannon,
lot.
show your book. You have your book with
Oh
you?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. I
So
love that.
oh,
I love the
other
cover.
okay,
Step
let me just
into
I
your
was just about to tell you the other
uh-huh.
beautiful thing about this. My daughter drew this for me for my cover.
Oh,
And so she's been obviously a big part of my recovery and my journey my whole life, but she drew this picture of me for my cover. So she's, so that's
beautiful.
her. Yeah. So step into your miracle. And then the back is a photo of me and a bunch of
Mhm.
quotes already, which is beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I also have this, and we could get into it in another time, but I have this process that we did a little bit of is the patchwork, and it's kind of a meditation on, how to
Oh,
how to how to almost how to find peace within trauma, and
mhm.
that can be something big and something small. We all,
Mhm.
whatever it is difficult. It doesn't even have to be the word trauma, but whatever is difficult for us today,
Right.
is these small steps in how to get on the other end of anything, which
Right.
is, again, part of my journey.
Now, yeah, is the patchwork in your book?
It
Step.
isn't.
It's
No,
not.
it's
Okay.
not. It's not. I'm starting to do book signings and events. And I had to come up with something that I could remember for myself again. And the word eye patch was an honest one. So it's just these beautiful little cards. And then they have the whole, and I think, I don't know if this is on my website yet, but if it's not, it will be soon. But it's definitely, it's worth a try. Like, just whatever your need is, please try.
Sure.
Get my website, reach out, please. Anybody, you have a question, please email me. Shannon at Step Into Your Miracle. I want to help as much as possible.
And it's Janet Step Into
Shannon.
I'm sorry, Shannon Step Into Your Miracle.
StepIntoYourMiracle.com. Yep.
Okay. What about is that your website?
Yes. StepIntoYourMiracle.com is my website. I'm learning the terms right again. And Shannon at Step Into Your Miracle is my email.
Okay. Well, Shannon, I am so glad that you reclaimed your purpose.
Thank you.
And I believe it's going to evolve over time. But right now, you are sharing your story and inspiring others. They'll say, wow, if she's been there, I can do this. You know, I can overcome whatever it is that's stopping me.
You can believe in yourself. Believe in the each and every moment, and you have the strength from within and from with everything that surrounds you.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So I know that my listeners have gained insight into navigating adversity, empowering themselves through personal transformation, and applying practical tools to live a purpose-driven life. Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I hate to end this conversation, but we'll continue. You know, it was indeed my pleasure to have you on Is Your Way in Your Way, because you have overcome, and I'm certain you've not fully overcome. It's a work in process, I'm sure. So
we all are.
Exactly. So everyone listening, I want you to be aware of that. So my listeners, as I always say, bye for now. God bless you all. And again, Shannon, thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you. Bless you. Bless all of us.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.